Well, good morning everybody and welcome back here to the 2025 World Bowls Indoor Championships hosted here at Aberdeen Indoor Bowls Club in the northeast of Scotland. Have a look at today's schedule of play. So coming up we've got the match right now, which is Cyprus and Scotland clash. After that at 1:30 thereabouts we're going to have a women's singles quarter-final round. That'll be followed around about 4 o'clock with a men's singles quarter-final. And lastly tonight, around about 6:30 this evening, will be the mixed pairs semi-final round. Yeah, so up next we have an interesting mixed pairs match. The players are just warming up on their second trial end, so it'll just be a few minutes till we start this one. It's going to be an interesting game, Cyprus. I don't know so much about the Cyprus pair. We have Saul and Lucas from Cyprus, done very well to make it through to this quarter-final stage, and they're up against a tough opponent in Scotland where we've got Claire and Stuart Anderson, both formidable players, so it's an interesting match. And Keris, I'm delighted to have you alongside me in today's commentary.
Thank you very much, Darren. We've certainly seen some exciting games this morning in the singles playoffs. Some cracking games for our viewers. Yeah, it was some great games. It looked like there was good games right across the whole of the arena. Obviously I had the pleasure of doing the Wales-England game, which was on the streamed rink, and it was a very, very good game of bowls. We anticipated it might be a very close match. It doesn't always work out that way, but thankfully it did, and it came right down to the last bowl. For those that tuned in, I hope you enjoyed it. It certainly was a good match to commentate on, so hopefully there's more of that across the next 2 days. Absolutely. You'd expect a high standard, and we've certainly had it this morning. It's been good all week. Yeah, it's interesting as we look across the green with this is quarter-final stages of this event, which is mixed pairs. So we have 3 other matches going on at the same time as this one, just on the other half of the indoor surface. So just for folk tuning in, we have England playing Australia, an Israel-Scotland combination against Guernsey, and we have Wales against Ireland. So that's the quarter-final lineup of this event. Yes, both Emily and Lauren straight back into action with their mixed pairs partners, Dominic McCarthy and Ross Owen respectively. So that's the warm-up ends over. Match is good to go. We'll get the jack cast in this first end. Claire's going to do that. To say, I think the Cyprus pair are going to have to start this match well and stay in the set. They don't want to let Scotland get on top of them early. No, Scotland have enjoyed a formidable record in their group stages. They won all their group games, amassed a shot difference, 115 for, 23 against.
30 metres.
They had South Africa, the Hungary and Scotland combination, Jamaica and Switzerland in their group games. Obviously Claire and Stuart still maintain interest in the singles too. Stuart's with a glowing CV in this event. Singles winner back-to-back in 2018 and 2019. He's also previous winner of the mixed pairs, 2018 with Emma McIntyre and 2022 with Alison Merrion, MB of Guernsey. Yeah, it's a very good pairing on the green. Claire's a fantastic player, great record, especially over the last sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 years. She's like a great record in Scotland and across the British. And this rink will suit them. It's a good rink from what I saw this morning. It's an end rink here in the stadium. It's by the local players. They tell us it's one of the best rinks they have. So yeah, I think that should add to the standard of the bowls, Keris. Absolutely. I've spoken to a couple of the players that have played on it already, and more than happy all for good hands. There we see the Cyprus lead Sol on the mat. Cyprus were in a group with Malaysia, Turkey, the Falkland Islands, Scotland combination and Canada. They just lost one game in their group stages to Malaysia. Came out on top with four wins. Interestingly, Canada in their group. Canada were bronze medalists 12 months ago in Guernsey.
Just not sent this one clear. So Saul just needs to make an adjustment off her last. She had the line correct. Just pushed through it by 3 or 4 feet.
Sol's player profile. She started playing bowls in 1998. Originally born in the Philippines. Her home club now is Aliathon in Cyprus.
Well played, what an adjustment. Yeah, very
Well
good.
played.
That'll settle into the match hopefully. This format in this event remains the same as the singles, and they play 2 sets of 7 ends. If it's tied at 1 set all, after that they will go into a 3-end tiebreak, and again a cumulative scoring in that system in this event. So very similar. Players are playing with 3 bowls, so it's a 3 bowl pairs. Well, Stuart's out on a wide line here.
Covering.
Yeah, just pushed it out a bit wide. Finished okay there.
Good receiving belt.
Yeah, Lucas is out on a wide track as well. Pace looks decent. Will can't come back quite a lot of this. It's a big swing in hand.
Going to be far off, counting for 2.
Yeah, well played. Commentary position for us is right on the side of this rink, because his ball was out very near the edge of the rink. Came back well. Good adjustment from Stuart. He's just pulling up though. His line was good that time. Still 2 to Cyprus.
Lucas just needs a similar bowl to his last.
Oh, his line's very good again. Push this one a little further. Comes round, it's coming to a great spot though. Stuart will stick with the draw. Try and add a foot of pace on his last.
He likes it following it up the green.
Just needs a clear road. Misses his own front one, he's perfect.
He's passing it.
Oh, he's just found a gap. Very unfortunate. Any contact on anything would have been good. Just the same draw for Lucas, there's nothing to change. He just has to keep out on that nice line. He's picked twice now. Try and play with good weight. Let the ball bend back.
He's out on that line.
He's out on a good line again, that's for sure.
How's his weight?
Doesn't look too bad. Just needs to pass his own probably and then swing back. Falls in, he's a chance. Yep, looks good.
Cracking effort.
Great start from the Cyprus pair. Looks like they'll be picking up 3.
Will be a massive start for them. 3 shots confirmed.
Yeah, it's a really good start.
Set score 3-0.
It's one of these ends where Saul's last ball was a good one.
She really nailed it for them, didn't she?
Yeah, and then obviously Lucas backed her up.
And she had good position from her first 2 bowls. just as she sole casts the jack there. We can just update viewers. The draw for the women's quarter-final of the singles was done prior to this match. So we have some exciting games to look forward to. Australia versus
Jack
England,
length, 32
Malaysia
metres.
versus South Africa, Guernsey versus Scotland 2, New Zealand versus Scotland. I should say Scotland 2 is Sophie McGrowther, Scotland is Claire Anderson. The men's quarter-final draw, Wales versus Hong Kong, China, Scotland versus England, South Africa versus Guernsey, and Ireland versus Australia. Hard to choose a winner out of those games, Stuart.
I think we're at the stage.
Darren, sorry.
That's all right. Let you off.
Apologies.
Been called worse. No, it's difficult. This is the part of the event where really the standard should excel, and players have played well to get to the sort of latter stages of the event. So you expect quarter-final, semi-final, and final to be of a very high standard.
It's a vital day on the carpet today for the players. They've been playing since Sunday. 64 players, 32 countries. It's been a tough field to crack.
Yeah, that's a good opener from Claire.
Crowd starting to gather as well, which is great. There's been great support here at Aberdeen. Fantastic facility, I must say.
Yeah, we spoke about
Pretty
that.
impressive.
Spoke about that in the morning game. You know, it's a fantastic facility. You know, there's not many 12 rink facilities across the whole of the UK, and it's a nice big club. It's a nice area of the country as well. So great to see the northeast, not far from Marseille. I'm an hour down the road from here at Arbroath, so it's good to see events of this calibre coming to the area.
Absolutely, the club couldn't have done more for the players and officials. Been here from early morning to late at night.
This hand takes a nice turn and Claire's on a good line again. On her pace to get back.
Well played, Claire.
It's a similar end to the first. Sol's kind of left it to her last ball here to try and get one a bit closer. She needs one in as near as she can. Doesn't have to get the shot, but she probably wants to get inside that last ball of Claire's. Just to make a bit of an adjustment. Her first two pulled up short. So they're getting the same turn back as Claire's balls did.
You can see Yvonne Veach, the assistant event manager for the forthcoming Atlantic Senior Fours, which is taking place in Cyprus in December. They're busy preparing that event. It's the second event. It was a success the first time.
Yeah, well played, Claire.
Another
Very good
cracking
end.
goal.
Yeah, very good end. Yeah, I presume that's the Athena Beach complex.
Yes,
is it?
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
a beautiful facility out there as well. Been lucky to bowl out there a couple of times. Well, Lucas, you're under a bit of pressure here.
Is he an attacking ball with his first ball, do you think, Darren?
He's not in that close. I don't know if he needs to maybe try and draw one a bit closer, because if he goes at it and misses, Stuart's going to pile them in. Bowls take a big swing. He's just overdone it. Yeah, Stuart will be trying to draw in here. Ideally, he wants to come in and turn that jack round the corner or sit in front of it just to make it more difficult. Oh, it might be time to attack now. Got to be running at this now, I think. A lot of balls to negotiate down there. Yep, he's clocked the front one.
cleared himself a path for his last.
He has. I'm a little surprised he didn't go off the other hand though, Keris, because he did have a clearer path down the forehand. He had to miss that ball just by a few inches to get inside it. Certainly has cleared the way, but he's only one ball left.
I would just draw away. You set yours up and you slide by. You stop it coming that way anyway.
Yeah, you can hear Claire calling Stuart just to try and turn his own one over, make it a harder target for Lucas. His line's good, just needs to run.
He's in for another.
He is going to be in for another, but not changed anything.
And if he will be forced to play the other hand now.
How far's the last one?
Solly's calling him.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying a difficult shot here.
Come on then.
His line's pretty good though.
He's given it a very good try here.
Needs the contact. Good effort. Certainly saved a lot. Great effort. Played the harder of the shots, I would have said, but he played it well. Might still be 3 though. Better than 5.
Absolutely. Would you play? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Choices for Stuart here because he could switch on his forehand and try and turn Claire's ball down onto Jack. If he rolls it twice, he would probably make 5 or 6 again. Actually, the danger is if he's a ball tight and turns the Cyprus ball in, he would be given shots away perhaps. But interesting. It's a decision to make. If you're line 3, do you just happily try and make a 4th, or do you get a little bit greedy and try and make the 6? Certainly nothing in Stuart's way. He can play it just as a nice forehand draw. He basically just has to set Claire down to have a chance of moving the jack in off. Yeah, that's what he's going to play. It's really just a draw, trying to add the shot. If you do happen to flop the blue ball down, it's a bonus.
Good line.
His line's a great line if he runs.
How's his pace?
Just
going
don't
to
think he sent
pass
it.
the
That's that.
Cyprus ball?
Just hasn't sent it.
Definitely looks like the 2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's 3 it is. Good eyes there.
3 blue.
There we see
set
the
score.
gleaming 3 trophies
50.
that will be presented
Sorry,
tomorrow
3-3.
afternoon. Of course, playing for the World Bowls Indoor Championship men's singles, women's singles and mixed pairs. And of course the stakes are high, as well as the trophies. There's vital World Bowl Series ranking points up for grabs. And of course the winner of the men's singles and women's singles will also get an invitation to the World Indoor Bowls Championships at Potters Resorts
Jack
next
length,
January.
31.5 metres.
So it's quite a prize package on offer, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And last year the Malaysians were over. First time they'd been, I think, at the Potters venue, and they thoroughly enjoyed their time there.
They certainly did.
They put it on their calendar to try and make it an ambition to get themselves there on a regular basis, which is great. It's just all about growing the sport. We want to see more countries involved. And
there's been certainly some amazing stories from some of the countries that have been here this week. We've had the Namibian participants. They've been playing on a green covered in anchovy nets.
I did read that, actually. I read that in one of the articles.
And we've had one of the Bowls Federation of Ghana representatives here. They're looking to set up a Bowls national governing body in Ghana. He's been over on a fact-finding mission. And they've been using oranges, would you believe, Darren?
I did see
Any
that.
spherical object.
Well, I must admit, when I first started, I did throw a lot of apples and oranges up my gran and granddad's hall as well, so not sure the oranges were good for eating after I'd had a few runners, but it's a great opener from Saul this time. She put a cracking first pole to turn the jack away from Claire.
It's great to see the smaller nations taking part in these events and improving year on year. The Isle of Man, a prime example. Caroline Whitehead competed in the event last year. Sadly didn't win a game in the singles. This year she qualified for the playoffs.
And that's what you want to see, and I suppose it's trying to grow the sport across the world and get more countries involved, but it's also trying to support these countries, and once they do get up and running, it's trying to get the right people in there to coach them well and
Absolutely.
Bring them up to as high a standard as possible, and that can only be good for the sport. I know myself on the world stage, when I first started playing bowls, some of these countries now compete with you, so much better than they first probably did when I started out, at the start of my career, and it's great to see, it's great. You want to be an event where all the countries are capable of winning matches, and that's what it should be, so yeah, it's great to see it.
You've played in this event, Darren. In the junior event, you were the inaugural under-25 singles champion. That
seems a long time ago. yeah.
Tell us about your memories of that. It's Llethley, I believe.
Yeah, well, it started off at Llethley down in Wales. That's where I played my first two, and then I went over to Jersey, and then I went back to Wales, I think, to it was Cardiff actually, perhaps, for my last one. So yeah, 3 of my world under-25s were won in Wales, so it's always been a nice bit of the country for me, and every time I go back to Wales I've always had a relatively good time. So yeah, it's a long time ago for me, but I played the first 4 World Juniors and was lucky enough to win all 4 of them, which I think it's still a record that stands. So it's not easy, as we know, the calibre of players get better and better, so to win anything once is hard enough, and to do it sort of back to back 4 times, it's something I'm obviously very proud of. So yeah, but it does seem a long time ago.
And how important are these world events for somebody at the age of, for under 25s? I mean, we've got Jack McShane from Australia here competing in the senior event. He's only 19. What opportunities does that present for the youth of today, just starting out their career?
Yeah, I think it's vital. It's vital to give people the opportunity to come and compete against other countries, expose them to different conditions. I know that when we've predominantly played either in the UK or in the Southern Hemisphere, for a lot of the last sort of 12, 14 years, it's either been a sort of UK event or it's been held in Australia. So the conditions are very different, and I think when we go from the UK out there, we have to go out there in plenty of time to adapt to the different conditions, the different bowls, and it's role reversal when they come over here. It seems silly to say, but the speed of the green here is probably slower than a lot of the Australian outdoors. And the bowls you have to use on our indoor surfaces are swingier bowls, whereas in Australia they probably play with a tighter bowl, just due to the wind conditions and the outside, extremities of what you play in. And the difficulty in finding the centre line with a wide swinging bowl would be really hard. So when you go to Australia, we have to adapt to go into a tighter bowl, and it's a role reversal for them. And when these countries come over here, they have to play with a bowl that swings a lot more than they're probably used to.
I know, when I was talking to Kelsey Cottrell earlier in the week, I think she had about 3 sets of bowls that had been sent here for her to practice, and she was getting used to the wide swinging bowls.
And good players will adapt. It does, you're not going to just come off the plane and arrive here and start throwing them around the jack. But good players will adapt. It's world class players that are here, and they will adapt. And it just takes a few days to maybe get that consistency up. Just overplayed this one this time, as Lucas. So
still 1 to Cyprus.
It's still 1 to Cyprus, but I just wonder if Stuart will try and turn or run the ball out. If he chips the ball off, the only danger would be if he pushed it onto the jack. He would be losing 3 or 4. That's the only danger.
Would you play with Stuart in any combinations?
Obviously, on
depending
world,
where you live.
We're quite a bit apart geographically, so we tend to just play in invitational stuff, or obviously on the world bowls tour stuff we play together. We've been a pair for a long time now, so
you know his game well.
Yeah, no, I think we know each other's game well, and we're probably a good partnership. On the green he'll say I'm Churchill, a wee bit more shaky heady, and he's pretty laid back. So I think that as a partnership we work pretty well. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time playing with Stuart in various events. He is playing a runner, but he's playing this off the forehand. He's obviously looking for a connection or somewhere.
Needs to be down that port.
Yeah, it just won't move.
Right, good try.
I think he would have liked to have played it off the other side, but the danger was if he pushed it onto the jack and the jack came through the back, he was going to lose more.
Saul's got a couple of balls waiting there.
Big opportunity this one here for Lucas. Probably got about 2 feet all round the jack to add another.
Halfway in the first set.
Again, he's just pushed it out too wide. It's going to be one to Cyprus.
Set score.
They'll take a 4-3 lead after 3 ends of this first set.
We'll just have a quick look at the scores on the other rinks. We've got England's Emily Kernick and Dominic McVitie. They lead Kelsey Cottrell and Jack McShane from Australia 3-2. Kim Watt and Boaz Marcus, Scotland-Israel combination. They've got a 3-1 lead over the Merrians, Alison and Ian from Guernsey. Lauren Gowan, Ross Owen, Wales representatives. They had a 3 on the first end against Zoe Minish and Angie Kyle from Ireland. Dropped a 1 on the second end, so 3-1.
Jack length, 27 metres.
Andrew, of course, a former winner of the singles. Oh, big strike there from Jack, I think, that the Jack's come flying over.
Yeah, indeed. Someone careered across. Now that must be 3 rinks away at least. Jack can fairly send him down. Was out in Australia last year playing an event in Sydney me and Stuart went out to, and came across Jack at Warilla in one of the sort of events we played in out there, so he's definitely a promising talent coming up through the Australian ranks. They just seem to develop waves and waves of these people.
They certainly do.
The thing is, I think any time I go out there, I think to myself, they have the climate, they've got the conditions, the weather, the bowling greens are immaculate, so good players playing in that environment against other good players are only going to make their game better. And I think that's the thing. I think that's why a lot of the UK players do go out there now when they get the opportunity, because you're playing on the best greens against some of the strongest people in the world, and it does enhance your game.
Yes, the Australian Open will be coming up in a couple of weeks. And of course we've just had the BPL 21. And a couple of the UK players went over. Of course Nikki Brett was in the successful Gold Coast Hawks team.
Yeah, it's a great event, that one. I always think it comes across well, it's covered well. It's all about getting money to back events like that. People say, why can't we do that in the UK? It takes a lot of money to get these events off the ground, I can assure you.
It certainly does.
Always said in the time I've played sport, it would be, how good would it be to have a Ryder Cup type format in bowls, maybe Northern Hemisphere against Southern Hemisphere. You could have a men's event, a ladies event, it could be a mixed event. We did it sort of almost once. We had Australia taking on the rest of the world, and it happened once, but didn't quite kick on from there.
A couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, Will Bowls have got their new World Cup, which will be taking place later this year in Hong Kong. The top 12 countries from the last World Championships will qualify, sending teams of 2 women, 2 men, 2 para bowlers. That's a new exciting event to look forward to then. And of course the Will Bowls Series ranking list finals are going to be held later this year as well. I think they're finalising details about that at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit unclear. Better weight this time. Takes a nice big hook, that hand, if your weight's just right.
It does.
Yeah. With the morning match, I thought a couple of them were just on the wide side, but when their weight was perfect, it takes a big sweep back.
Clare plays with Taylor Race, and Sol is playing with Drake's Pride.
Yeah, both Claire and Stuart will be using the Taylor Race model.
Lucas also playing with Taylor Race.
Oh well, we've got a few Taylors out there. Now Stuart, if you push this, doesn't look like it's running. Line was good. Possibly made a shot. Well, looks a better line. Needs to run though.
Some more. The last game was add 2 feet.
It's not quite nailing his pace at the moment, Stuart. His line's been perfect. A bit disappointed with that. Normally Stuart would drop one in there, no bother.
He's shaking his head there, you can just see him behind the head there.
Glad you noticed it, Keris. I'll keep a record of that one when he says I shake my head too often. The video doesn't lie.
What would be the pressures of playing in front of the home crowd?
Yeah,
Do you think Stuart, how does Stuart deal with pressure when you're playing with him in?
I think Stuart's pretty laid back, to be fair. You know, I think he's been around long enough, Stuart. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him, but you know, he's been around the block for so long and won so much. I think, you know, at the moment he would just be out there trying to focus on the job in hand. Which when you're on home soil, you always hope you're going to get that extra bit of support, but I don't think it would add any pressure to his game.
Two of you have any pre-match routines?
No, not really. We're pretty laid back in that regard. Yeah, we don't really have any rituals or sort of pre-match stuff.
No favourite songs you'd play in
No,
the car or anything?
Not really, no. And certainly you wouldn't want to hear any of us sing anyway, put it that way. So. Yeah, it's interesting to see how many this is going to be. Looks like Stuart's front one is in. The one that's sitting right in the middle of the rink, I would favour that one to be in, but
Umpire Jackie there.
Sure the umpire will sort it out. I think there's a lot of balls need to get taken away here though. There seems to be quite a lot getting left in the head.
I'm going to head off and leave you now, Darren.
Well,
I'm going to
hand
over to Neil Dalrymple.
Thanks for your company, Keris, and
we'll join you in the commentary box.
Perfect, yeah. Good to see Neil join us.
Thank you, Darren. I'll catch you later in the day.
Thanks, good stuff, Keris, thank you. So yeah, we're just waiting on the umpire measure here, just to determine how many shots Scotland are going to pick up at this end. Just trying to work out where the nearest Cyprus bowl is. So I think we'll try and find that first. So go to the Cyprus bowl at the front and then to the one at the back, find out what one is closest, and then they'll take that one against the two sort of blue stickered bowls in the red colour with Stuart's. This is the one I favoured. It's close. Might just be the back one sneaking it. Yeah, so it's just the one to Scotland.
One blue.
ties the set up. 4-all after 4 ends. So welcome into commentary, Neil. It's good to have you alongside me.
Thanks, Darren. Yeah, good to see you too.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's an interesting game so far. We've had Cyprus start with a 3, then Scotland returned with a 3, and now they've traded 1. So
nice and tight.
Yep.
It's good to see Cyprus competitive, isn't it, on this stage? Good opposition.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know, it's. You get to the quarter-final, it's just, I was saying to Keris, when you get to the quarter-final of an event, you know, the standard should be reasonably good.
Yeah.
Players have played well enough to get here, so
Yep.
no doubt Scotland would have probably started the match as favourites, but they're definitely getting a run for the money here at the moment in this set.
I was looking across the other green, and it's difficult to pick a winner, isn't it? Because you could say everyone's got a bit of a chance, I think. It's a good mix of quarter-finals.
Absolutely, you know, and it's the same in every, as you say, every event, ladies singles, gents singles, the mixed pairs. It's very hard to pick a winner at this stage.
It's a good surface here, Darren. Do you think it's pretty fair, isn't it? I look at the heads that are developing. They're all a lot of bowls around the jack.
Yeah, it's an indoor surface. It's most indoor surfaces in Scotland or in the UK are fairly consistent. You know, that obviously each rink will play slightly different. They've all got their unique characteristics, but I think Aberdeen surface is always fairly generous. You know, if you play a decent bowl, you'll almost get a decent result out of it. This rink particularly, they seem to favour as the local players. They say it's a really good rink. I find the back 4 rinks here that run up the opposite direction, we used to play a lot of them in small team events, and I actually think that's it's a bigger swinging surface, but it's a little bit heavier.
Yep, bit slower.
Just push the ball a bit harder, but it actually turns very well through on the back rinks. But yeah, Aberdeen's always had a fairly
That's a great club.
Consistent surface.
Fantastic club.
Just a slight adjustment required here from Saul. Difficulty is if you just overcorrect. Just what she's done, just push through it this time. I think when you don't play on a surface as much as other people, that's the hard part of the game is if you don't quite get them with your first, it's making that subtle adjustment, because as you know, Neil, the difference between 2 feet short and right on the jack's nothing. You know, if you feel you've pushed it, you've probably pushed it too far. You know.
Consistency.
Yeah, Claire's played well here. Winning about. Still room though.
I think some of the countries certainly they've adjusted pretty well, but some of them are coming from very foreign conditions, so adjusting has been, I think, a real challenge for some of them, but yeah, they've played pretty well.
I think the difficulty as well is it's not something that's just the conditions, it's some of them picking up a bowl they've probably never bowled with in their life, you know, and it doesn't matter how good you are, you know, if you've asked to pick up a bowl you've not actually had in your hand before, and it takes a totally different swing to what you're used to, then there's a lot to take in a short space of time, you know, because unfortunately people don't have the finances perhaps to come here 3-4 weeks in ahead, so you know, it's sometimes 2-3 days in advance if they're lucky, maybe only 1 day, so it's a big ask and consistency is probably the key. It's like most sports at this level.
Correct.
It's like Stuart's just not quite found the pace of this rink, which is unusual for him. He's normally zoned in by now, like a robot usually, but he's just not quite caught it at the moment.
You've got a lot of depth in Scotland, haven't you? There's no doubt about it, particularly on the indoor surface too. So
that's a good saver from Lucas. He's drawn the shot. Yeah, it's probably one of these sports we've always really been you know, held ourselves pretty high around the world. That, you know, there's not, unfortunately in our country, there's not many sports where we probably are a powerhouse. You know, obviously curling, we're pretty good at curling. You know, and yeah, well done, Stuart. Off for 1.
I don't envy the selectors for the Commonwealth Games.
Well, no, I wouldn't want to be picking a sort of small team like that. It's hard enough somebody's picking a team of 4 or 5, but yeah, to pick a smaller version of that would be be tough.
Anything there?
Yeah, you can play it in there. Turn your ball in or rest on it.
Do you know much about the Cyprus bowlers, Darren? Have you
don't-
come across them before?
I know. I recognise them, having played with them and played against them in certain events. Obviously, like your Atlantic Championships and that stuff like that.
Aye, really
Actually, I have a chap who lives out there now who I bowled with a long time ago in Arbroath, and he actually represented Cyprus in a couple of events I played in just before I retired from the outdoor scene. So I actually met him at a couple of events, and I hadn't seen him for a long time before that. So. Guy Scott Ferguson I grew up with, so if Scott's tuned in watching us, then I'm sure he'll be cheering on the Cyprus pair.
Yeah.
Even though he has a Scottish connection, I'm sure he wants his Cyprus pals to do well here. So, yeah, I think there's actually, I think quite a lot of the Cyprus team are perhaps folk from England and Scotland that have went out. Yeah. And obviously have some local players themselves, but I think they probably drive that forward, which is good.
Well, they're doing well here, aren't they? On this stage, it's a good start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you'd asked them, would they take 4 all at this stage of the set, you would have bit your hand off for it. So.
For sure.
He's having a runner here. Looks under. How's his luck though? No. Still just one.
Yep, one down.
Yeah, one to Scotland. So they take a 5-4 lead in the last 2 ends of this set.
1 to blue. Set score 4-5.
So about yourself, Neil, how have you found your position with World Bowls? How's it been so far? And
Yep, it's now, Darren, about 2.5 years. So, in fact, I just met my predecessor, Gary Smith.
okay, yeah.
Has entered the building. So, so it's good to catch up with Gary and have a bit of a chat, and we'll see him a bit more over the next 2 days. And look, there's a mixture at the moment, Darren, in terms of dealing with the day-to-day, running the events and preparing for the Commonwealth Games, and trying to get more countries involved and new countries, and supporting our existing members as well. So, but it's been terrific the last 2 weeks being in England and Scotland. So, and meeting wonderful people at the venue here, and talking to some countries that are looking to develop sport. An example, Italy, we're hoping to get a federation in Italy soon. So there's some great opportunities.
That's good. No, I actually was speaking to the chap from Italy just on the last break there. He was talking to us about maybe trying to looking towards 2027ish or thereabouts.
World Champs, yeah.
No, it's good to see. It's good, as I say. I look around these events now. And even just as I was sort of coming to retirement from the outdoor scene, to see some of the countries, especially European countries, because there was a lot of them that didn't play and are now starting to pick up. So for us over this side of the world, it's great to see these European countries producing opportunities for people wanting to pursue their bowls.
Correct.
Lovely weight. Weight's good.
Yeah, so just we'll reflect across the greens here. I'll try and use the best of my eyesight. But we've got England 7, Australia 2 over on rink 5. They've played 5 ends. Israel-Scotland combination at the moment are 0-5 down to Guernsey after 4. And it looks like Wales 7, Ireland 2 after 6 ends. So still 2 or 3 ends to go in these sets across the green.
Yep. You'd expect a few tie breaks in some of these games, wouldn't you, Darren?
Yeah.
It's going to be tight.
This is a good one. Well played. Yeah, good ball, so. Claire just left the door open and Saul's taking advantage of it. Correction needed here. Line's very good. I think she's done it. Yeah, great correction. Saved the best till last.
They're good combination, aren't they, Claire and Stewart? So
Yeah,
hard
Claire's,
to beat.
yeah, Claire's records, really phenomenal over the last sort of, as I said earlier, 5-6 years. She's always there or thereabouts in events. I think the good thing is with a 3-bowl pairs, it just gives people a bit of chance.
Yep.
2-bowl pairs can be quite cutthroat and very, very different game. It seems silly to say it's only one extra bowl each, but there is a massive difference between a 2-bowl pair and a 3-bowl pair.
I mean, you can see the Cyprus 3 bowls are in pretty good position, aren't they? So, but yeah, we'll see.
I think Stuart will be trying to just drop onto that Cyprus bowl just in behind the jack.
Yep. Let's see how close you are. I reckon you might be close.
He's just been not quite getting the pace up till now, and he needs to run with this one again. He's picking the lines, but just not quite getting the pace. Probably force Lucas down the other side, perhaps. Not easy getting around that one and back. Yeah. Just trying to play this as a full draw, trying to just turn Claire's ball onto the jack.
Might be a bit wide.
Yeah, just not going to get back with the pace.
Kind of the right idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe just overplayed it slightly, but I think that was the right idea. It's hard to draw it. He's got to probably try and turn the ball off the jack.
And Stewart will be looking for a couple of feet.
Yeah, probably a yard on his last. He's certainly further. It's another ball in the head.
Yeah.
Not quite covered it, but he's put another ball in the head.
I imagine his next one will just be past that.
Yeah, yeah. Don't think it changes Lucas's shot. You just take a little bit of pace off what he played the last time. Same idea. Definitely looks a better pace. Can he reach?
Unlucky.
Pace was better, I think. I think Stuart needs another one in the head here.
Yeah, a bit of a trial might be could be damaging.
Looks good. I think if he clears his front one, he might just land on the back one. That's the ball I thought he would get to the first time. Perfect ball. Yeah, it's a great ball because he's now covered the re-spot on the tee. So if Lucas was to go big and try and kill the end, that blue ball now, or the blue stickered ball, should I say, is nearest to the tee now. So there's a really good ball with Stewart's. Line 3 shots as well now.
Puts him in a good position for this set.
Yeah, I don't know what Lucas will try here. Don't really know his game well enough to know whether he'll attack it and try and damage limitation, maybe take a couple out. Or he'll try and draw a second. Doesn't want to drop a 3, that's for sure.
No.
Probably will drop in 1, gives him an outside chance of still getting something from the set, but
Yep.
dropping any more than that will make it difficult.
And what about you, Darren? This year, nothing outdoor?
I still play outdoor. I
Yep.
actually play in sort of my local events and up to sort of national level.
Yep.
But
Nothing international.
not international. I kind of dropped off the
Yep.
outdoor. Still young enough, but just listen, it's been a long commitment for a lot of my life, and I wanted to still kind of play in the top indoor stuff. So eventually, someone has to give. I think a little bit.
Understand. You still play potters then, and
still
Scottish,
playing. Still playing in all the sort of major
PBA.
indoor stuff. And I think hopefully this year we're hoping to expand to 3 events. So that's another
Three
thing.
keep you busy.
Blue, Set score.
So it's a big count at that stage for
8-4.
Scotland. They
Set
hadn't
score
sort of looked like picking up a
4-8
count really until
after
that end,
6
but it's
ends.
opened up a 4-shot lead.
Yeah.
Just one end to play of this set.
I think the people are starting to come in, Darren. There seems to maybe a bit late to get up or something, and they're starting to wander in now. So
Yeah, I did arrive yesterday just to do, watch some of the games and soak up the atmosphere ahead of today's streaming.
Yep.
And I did have to ask twice, did you say 8:30 for the first game? It's,
and
So
there wasn't
don't
too
e-
many people here at 8:30, was
don't
there?
even get up that early from my work. But listen, you've got to fit all the matches in across the whole day.
Chat
Yes.
length,
People are
30
playing
metres.
multiple games, so
Yep.
you have to start at that early.
Of course. And we've got people watching around the world, which is great, in different time zones. So
No, it's good, and I think the fact the schedule will take us into the evenings a vital part, because I think we will get as the day goes on, as you say, it's already busier now. And last
Yep.
night it seemed to get busier in the evening when
Yes,
people had finished work
correct.
and came in to watch.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's good that there's options throughout the whole of the
Yep.
day. You've opened up a 4-shot lead. That's just the start you want. It's a good reply.
Yeah, my word.
It's the right side to be
Great
on as
spot.
well.
Yep. Pretty true. This side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of the balls coming down here on this side nearest us has been excellent.
Yep.
Coming this direction. I think this morning's game, obviously Lorne from Wales, Emily from England, they actually were playing opposite sides, so that lets you know the rink's playing very well. If players are willing to
Happy
go both sides,
Yep, Yep. And that was a great match by the sound of
it
things.
was very good
Great
game.
finish.
Yeah, right down to the last ball.
And I suppose it's not, I know from a bowler's perspective, this format's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think, as you just said, if it comes to the last bowl, it's good television, it's good to watch, and hopefully for the spectators. So, but there's a bit of luck involved, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess there is, but I think...
Good bowl.
Oh, well played. Very well played. I think we're all familiar with sets now,
Yeah.
and you just have to adapt to that format. And I think you could argue the beauty of this one is the final tie-break part. Although it's called a tie-break, it's almost like a small set,
Yes,
because the
yep.
scores accumulate over the
Correct.
three ends. And
Yeah, I've had a couple of players say, "Oh, we'd like it if it was, and we've done this before in different competitions. Sets one, ends one in that tie break rather than the accumulation of shots."
I guess it's difficult. Obviously the ones I play in normally it is whoever wins the end.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I quite like the fact this one's a bit varied in that
Yeah.
you can be it could be 2-0 down or 3-0 down and
still be
playing the last end, still
correct.
have a chance of
Pick up a 4 or whatever. Yeah.
So it kind of probably not all the time, but it almost takes you into that third end more than sometimes the other one
Yep.
does.
Yeah, obviously you win the first 2 ends.
Then
That's
it's
it, isn't
over.
it?
Yeah. Oh, superb stuff. Oh, well done, Saul. That's a great end.
2 great bowls.
Yeah. And to be honest, there's not, taking the 4 out of the equation, the multiple shots,
It's a tight.
the 3, you're talking about that 3, to go 8-4 up, that's been the big end in the set, because I don't think there's been much between them, to be honest.
And excitement around the Commonwealth Games, do you think, Darren, in terms of, the fact that Glasgow are hosting next year, obviously it's good for the sport, but do you think that's the Scottish community will embrace the Com Games?
Yeah, I think they will. I think obviously, it's obviously likely to be a sort of streamed down version of what we've probably been used to. But I think the important thing is it's good. It's still going. And something is back off the ground and something to look forward to. Because for us as bowlers, that is really the pinnacle, of our sport. That's the level that. But at the moment we're not Olympic.
No.
Well played. Putting a good end. Giving themselves a chance.
Yeah. 3 good bowls there. We might be looking for a good commentator too.
Oh well. I'll leave you my number.
Okay.
No, it's as I say, it's great to have something like that. And as a bowler growing up, through my lifetime, obviously World Championships outdoor were every 4 years, and that was a bowls only event. Whereas for a multi-sport, to get our sport in on alongside other sports, Commonwealth Games was always the biggest one. And obviously Glasgow will always have fond memories for me.
Oh my God, you played brilliantly.
Yeah, the whole team, we did well there.
It was so exciting, wasn't it? I mean, what a spectacle it was at Kelvin Grove. It was just a beautiful venue.
It was, it was a good venue. So I've been lucky enough to play Commonwealth Games in a lot of good countries, a lot of good venues. But obviously to win the singles gold there, always be in the memory bank.
My word.
Well, he's not quite getting back with this one, but they are going to have a chance unless Stuart can somehow alter this. They're going to have a chance with his last ball to make 3 or 4. He needs the 4 obviously, but I think Stuart needs to get another one in there.
Do you think it's just one up at the moment? The front bowl second shot?
I think it is. I think it is just one, but I think Stuart probably needs to try and sit in there somewhere, sit in the pocket, just make it more difficult for Cyprus to get their 4. Because there's definitely an opportunity at the moment to turn that front blue ball out and maybe line 4 or 5.
It looks like England's beaten Australia in the first set, I think. It looks like they're 1-0 up in second set.
Well, Stuart, are you running? Doesn't look up.
He's got there.
He might have beat some of them, but still an opportunity. He just has, it's not easy, but if he could come up and flop that blue ball out 2 or 3 turns, it would make definitely 4.
It's his last ball.
Yep. Guess if he just slides past the blue ball and somehow manages just to squeeze the jack, there's a possibility of 3 or 4 that way as well. So lots of options, not easy, but I think all you can ask when you're 4 down is to have at least some kind of opportunity to make it, and he's got one.
What's the thinking now of a bowler? I think you just relax. You know what you got to play. And just execute.
That's it. I think given this end, you would just say, please give me a chance to make a 4, and he's got a chance. It's not easy, but there is a chance. Now, has he got the pace?
I don't think so.
Oh, he's not sent it.
No. Be a bit disappointed with that one,
Yeah, it's difficult. He knew he couldn't play it too quick, but just wanted to reach with that one, give yourself a chance.
They're just a 1.
Yep, so it's 2 to Cyprus. So set finishes 8-6 to Scotland.
I think I'm going to leave you, Darren. So thank you for what you've done and what you're doing. So enjoyed the time. So good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Jack length 32 metres.
So it was an interesting first set in the end. Cyprus pushed Scotland all the way for the majority of the set, and that 3 in end 6 turned out being just enough to get Scotland over the line. So I'm delighted to be joined by Oliver Thompson, Falkland Islands. I believe you were playing with one of our Scottish players in the mixed pairs, Sophie McGrowther, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a long journey from the Falkland Islands, but we're happy to be on one of the world's best surfaces. I was paired with Sophie in the mixed pairs. We did quite well to start off with. We managed to win our first 2 games. And then sadly the tiebreakers got us in the next 3 games, but that's bowls, isn't it? That's the way it goes. So
yeah, absolutely is. In these tiebreakers there's not often much in them. You just hope you get on the right side of a couple of them just to boost yourself up a bit further. But it's been a good event so far. I've only been here a couple of days, but some of the matches yesterday I took in were really good.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is nearly one of the world stages. You've got some of the best players playing. Stuart Anderson, a world champion, and a former world champion, sorry, and now he's, now we can watch him play a game of bowls here. So it's brilliant. Because initially at the in the Falcons we roll up on school corridors.
Oh, really?
And we take mats together. So now just to sit here watching with you watching Stuart Anderson and Cyprus play as well. So it's an incredible stage.
I think that's something people who maybe even play our sport are unaware of. I think sometimes we take for granted the facilities we have in the UK and especially obviously in this part of Scotland. We've got some cracking indoor facilities, some great outdoor facilities. So we're well catered for, but we forget across the world it's not quite that way, and as I've said a number of times in commentary so far, it's difficult to come over. You can play good bowls, everybody, you wouldn't be here, you couldn't play big bowls, but it's having the consistency on the surface with the new bowls, the swingier bowls.
Yeah.
It's putting all that together in a short space of time is not easy.
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, we play in the school corridor, and I've had to use Taylor lasers because they're narrow woods. And fortunately, thank you to Martin Gale for allowing me to use his woods, which are Tiger Evos, and they've got the swing there, so you're able to get in. But it's been a learning curve throughout the entire tournament, so it's been good. I really enjoyed it.
I guess it's all part of a learning journey, and as long if you can take something out of it and learn from it, then hopefully if the next opportunity comes along, then you learn from it, and as I say, it's great to have all the countries involved in it. Countries here that when I sort of first started out in the sport weren't even, didn't even have a bowls section, so it's great to see it growing, and I guess it's not just keeping it growing, it's how we invest to try and give people, that facility, or at least that chance to practice on facilities that the rest of us have, and how we do that globally as a sport. It's always never easy because it usually comes down to finance, and we're competing against other sports, I guess. But yeah, it's great to see it expand, and I just wish we could kind of, perhaps have better facilities across some countries to make it a level playing field.
Yeah, I mean, but having it, what a shot there. Having events like this for such a small club like the Falkland Islands, it's great to, brush shoulders and share the rinks with some of the world's best. So it's a good learning curve for us all. So and a lot of people in the Falklands have sent me kind messages and messages of support, and I mean even for us to get a win is good news at the moment until we keep further developed. So
superb. Yeah, glad you've had a good time over. I'm sure there's going to be more good games over the course of today and tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is a good effort. Very good effort. Oh, he's unlucky. He's been so unlucky, he's probably made it even harder now just with a slight touch of the jack. Pushed it just about bang onto the red ball there. It's a super effort from Lucas. Don't really think Stuart wants to make this any wider.
I mean, yeah, we're coming to Scotland a few times. We've got the Island Games in two months' time, and then after that, it's the Commonwealth Games next year. Hopefully, if we're able to get to that. So, but having an event like this it's good to watch as well.
Yeah, and the venues, we can't say enough about Aberdeen. It's a tremendous facility. It's a great asset. I'm based about an hour south of here, so it's not far from me. It's a great asset to have in this part of the country. 12 rink stadiums, there's not many of them going around, so...
No.
Yeah, decisions here for Lucas. He wasn't far away with his last one.
Permission.
Well, we played against him, and he was a very good, aggressive player to start off with, in terms of he did a lot of fire shots, and it managed to work for him, so, and that the Cyprus pairing managed to get through and beat us in the tiebreaker, but it was a good game anyway.
The only thing would be in this game, he probably doesn't want to be running too often because it's probably going to knock his draw game, and the Scottish pairing will not be giving him much room to work in, so sometimes you have to attack, there's no doubt about it, but you attack too much, then the draw part of the game becomes much more difficult as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just not sure he's pushed through this one enough. His hand seems to swing away quite drastically towards the end.
Get a ricochet in between.
A little unlucky now because the front plant is no use now. It's set up like an awkward angle.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen some cracking bowls so far, not just from this game, but from the others as well. I mean, when we were watching the Island, there were pretty much all four on the jack. It's insane.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, yeah, just to recap for everyone, the other mixed pairs games going on in the green at the moment. England took the first set against Australia. We have Guernsey who took the first set against the Israel-Scotland combination. And on the last rink it was Wales who got over the line in the first set against Ireland. So these games are now into their second sets. Keep you updated as they go. Now I just wonder if that's just where Stuart's last ball's landed. It gives maybe a chance to attack this down the other side.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding the teeth.
They've got the respot position,
yeah,
as you say,
exactly, yeah.
Oliver, yeah. I think Sol's want them to draw down this forehand again. That's what he's going to try. I think the percentages were down the other side, but
There he comes through.
he's giving it a go.
Hold it, yeah.
I think
It's
he's
looking alright.
just going to get the wrong connection again, though.
Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, good effort. Could still be 3, though. Definitely 2. Yeah, it's 3.
It's always difficult when you're 3 down to
blue.
come back in, especially in such a...
Score
There's only 7 ends
score.
per set, isn't it? So
0-3.
Yeah, and I think
after
with the
one
running
end.
ball, when we talk about percentages, you know, I think if he'd ran into that head, and even if he took one out, it would have just been 2, and
yeah,
he might have reduced the count, even if he didn't get the shot. Whereas, you know, he didn't play a bad last ball, but unfortunately just came through the gap and hasn't saved any of the shots. So I guess it's how you feel on that rink. You know, you're the person rolling the ball. You know, it's easy for me to sit here, but
I guess that's what it is. It's confidence, isn't it, as well? And especially playing the running shots, because you could miss it quite easily. And I
length,
guess that's why it's important to have your
28.5
partner to
meters.
give you, you know, that kind of encouragement to play these shots. And a lot of it is all about confidence.
no, a good start from Claire.
Puts the pressure on her, then, isn't it?
It's a good start from Sol as well. She's played this hand well the last sort of couple ends in this direction.
Yeah, it's always good to have one just behind the jack, isn't it, to start off with. There you go.
It's come to a good place though for Claire. I think she was obviously trying to draw to the red dispo at the back, but it's a good area. A USA competitor, Bill Brault. I've known Bill for a long time as well, typing away profusely in the background there.
No, we played him as well. He's nice as a character, and the so everyone's been handing little gifts when we start the game, and the USA have got a clever idea, having a coin. That's quite a good shot actually. Well played.
Superb. She's played really well in this direction. The last 2 ends of the game have been excellent.
So yeah, the USA gave you a coin so to do the toss at the start of the game, which is a really clever idea.
Good, yeah.
Because I've got a lot of fridge magnets from FIFA, which is different countries, but a coin's a bit different.
Switch your hands for Claire. Overplayed it. She's going to lose her ball here.
Leave that one. Lady's hand. Stroke.
So all just switching over to her backhand. Just looking for a bit of cover around in the back corner of the rink. Time's good, just needs to run a bit further. Yeah, good place.
Looks like at the back, yeah.
Looks like that's where the jack would head if it's touched.
It's interesting to see all everyone's different styles of delivery. It's so quiet on the green.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, some people drop the woods and you can hear a big bang, whereas on this game in particular, it's just super quiet when people do the deliveries.
Stuart. Will it get back? Not quite. Oh. Just held off with the pace.
Okay, a placement shot then. The jack springs out.
Yeah, it's in a good enough area.
No, probably not. It looks like it's coming right into this pool.
As well, if you look at the mixed pairs, you have different ways of communicating. You have people that shout across the green, or some people that just use sign language and hand signals. Quite different as well, for different styles.
Yeah, it's one of these sort of unique events, I guess. You know, most of the players are qualifying here in the singles, and then you get paired up. So obviously, usually, you know, you're pairing countries up together. If they have a male and female participant, yourself, obviously, you know, paired up with a Scottish player to give you a chance to play in it. So it's probably Claire and Stuart are slightly different because they've probably played together quite a lot over the years, whereas you could literally have people coming here and this could be the first time they've played together.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Sophie and I, and I think 6 other countries as well. But as you say, it gives us that chance to play in the mixed pairs as well as the singles.
And more games while you're here, that's what you would want.
Absolutely,
you know, there's no point in coming here and only playing 2 or 3 games. You want to be playing as many as you can when you're here.
And it's good as well when we were playing mixed pairs. Like say, Sophie could read the game a lot differently to me, which was good to learn from as well. So, and play the different shots that I might not be able to see, and vice versa. So it's good to have a mixed pairing with Sophie. And last year I was paired with Natalie McWilliams as well.
Oh right, okay,
Similar concept, similar, and I learnt a lot from her as well. So.
Well, Stuart's given this a lot of careful thought. You know, he's 2 down as it is anyway. I don't actually see him being much worse no matter where the jack ends up, so probably got to make a decision whether he goes quicker or does he just try and keep that same shot and just try and touch it.
I think your line would have held on if you had another yard. I think you just won the...
I think he'll just stick with the full draw, try and just spring the jack. 18 inches, 2 feet. Claire's got one waiting on it. It's just not easy. It's a good hand this, but it's just not easy finding the line when you add a bit of pace on it.
Yeah, and the on this rink in particular, it bends quite easily. Or is it going to go in front of that? Good effort.
Still 2, I think. Made it difficult for Lucas to add another. He's got to trust good pace, pick a hand, doesn't really matter what hand he draws it on, he just has to just careful draw, don't get too clever with it. You're line 2. gets them back in the set.
Yeah. So what do you play in here? The backhand to try and go around Stuart's?
Yeah,
Without
I
trying to
think,
spring it
I think
away.
it's probably the safer of the two, but you know the forehand is okay as well, as long as he's not carrying too much pace.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want to land on the back of the line shot. He's certainly not played this with a great deal of pace. I think he's settled for his two.
Yeah.
Quite rightly so, probably.
I would probably do the same to be
Yeah.
at this level. It's got him back in though.
Yep, good two to pick up at that stage. So,
2 red.
Oral Bowls would just
6-4,
obviously like to pass on
2-3
their
after two
great
ends.
thanks to their sponsorship and partners. There's a number of them listed here, so we'll just go through them all. And great thanks to Aberdeen Indoor Bowling Club, Ace It Sport, Fab Little Bag, Niagara, Sports Build, Sporting Highlights, Bowls International, and of course our own SIBA Bowling Association for all the assistance that have been put into making sure this championships could go ahead. And without the support of all of these, then I'm sure it would be a much harder task. So thanks to all of them. Just take you around the green while we've got a slight opportunity. So over in the England-Australia game, England won the first set, but they're trailing 4-1 after 3 ends in the second set. Israel-Scotland pair, well, they lost the first set to Guernsey and they're 2-0 down at the start of the second set. In the Wales-Ireland game, Wales won the first set and are 2-1 up after 3 ends. So that's where the rest of the games are at this stage for anybody interested in those scores.
Another great start for Cyprus there.
Claire just underplayed again.
It's always important getting that first wood in, isn't it? To put the pressure on your opponents.
Claire's still not pushed this. Just lost her pace a wee bit in the game.
Trying at the front, yeah.
To be fair, Saul's put balls into the head. Does add a little bit of pressure onto you when your opponent's getting them in close.
Getting another good one, if the weight holds.
Just taking the pace off,
Yeah.
yeah. Line was good. Our balls would have held that line. Oh, Claire, can you make the adjustment?
That's usable, that one, right for the back if the jack goes.
Yeah, so just looking in, the stadium's definitely picked up in crowd now, and I notice a famous person there. That's Pauline Wilson from Scotland, gold medalist in the para games down in Birmingham. Excellent player, Pauline, and the pairs down there. One of Scotland's many gold medalists at that level. Enjoying the action here today. It's always good to have a multi-arena where you've got the live streamed game, but you've also got other games going on round about you. Just adds a bit more atmosphere to the arena rather than just having one rink.
Yeah, absolutely. Different bowls going on, different countries playing.
Good effort, Lucas.
Yeah, it's in.
But it probably will be even for the finals, won't it? With all the
Yeah, I
crowd
think so.
here.
Yeah, I think people will be trying to get in and see. Obviously tomorrow's busy day. You've got sort of some semi-finals to finish off, and then the three finals. So
Yeah. Well, I guess as well,
well played, Stuart. It's a cracking ball.
What a shot. I guess as well, we talk about countries coming here, I guess it's really good for Aberdeen Bowls Club as well to host such a worldwide event here, especially for the club members. A lot of club members have come up to me and spoke about how great it is to have an event at their own local Aberdeen bowling club,
Yeah, and I think so. It's a super effort here, Lucas.
Oh,
Good effort.
okay.
I think any stadium, I'm obviously, I've retired from the police force and took up a job at my own indoor stadium, which is about an hour down the road from here, and kind of the administrator manager at the stadium, along with another chap. And to host big events at your club is what you want to do. You want to be attracting people, the best bowlers you can, whether that be national events, whether it be international, or in this case worldwide events. Then you can only enhance your club and to allow the members to see bowls played by different countries. So I'm sure Aberdeen have enjoyed hosting it. I think they've hosted it very well. From people I've spoke to, they've put on a good stage to host this event.
I've just pushed it.
Well, Lucas, your wee chance here. Weren't far away with your last. If you can just come and sit Stuart's ball out. If you touch it at all, the jack's going to spring towards the three red balls that are just sitting to the side of the jack. Doesn't have much to alter from his last ball, to be honest. Ball wider, same pace.
Chance to lead in the set then. If he gets this shot.
Doesn't matter what hand he plays it off with, but he was so close with the last one. I don't see the point in changing hands, but his choice, keeping with the forehand.
Oh, he said it's too heavy, but
I think he said he's too heavy. I don't think he's heavy, I think he's just wide. I think he needed that pace. Don't think you would want to play it with less than that. He's only 4 feet past the jack, so I think he was just wide, really. His weight was good. Not an easy draw here for Stuart. He can't really afford to touch it off the forehand, so I think that's why he came on the backhand the last time, and I think he'll keep that. It's a safer draw. Slightly more difficult because he has to negotiate inside the front bowls, but it's definitely a safer hand to try and draw on. It's a decent effort.
yeah, has he got the pace though?
I think he's got the pace, he just needs to get the bend, and he's got it perfect.
Well done.
Well played.
What a shot.
Yeah, it's a great ball. Pick up 2 shots on that end. It will give them a 5-2 lead after 3 ends of this set.
2 blue. Set
An
score
incredible shot that, wasn't it? Well, both of them.
2-5 after 3
Touching the
ends.
jack.
Yeah, it was a great ball. It was one of these ones, it's probably a free shot for him, and he just had to make a slight correction from his second ball, just hold it in a touch. His weight was good. So is this your first time in Scotland, Oliver, or have you been before?
Yeah, I've been a few times. I do like it. Edinburgh's quite a nice place, and this is the first time in Aberdeen.
Okay.
I did apply to the university here way back, but sadly I didn't get into the Aberdeen University. But yeah, I mean it's nice from what I've seen so far. They call it the Granite City, I
Jack
believe.
length,
Yeah, they do,
32
yeah.
metres.
Granite City. It used to be a big, well, it still is reasonably, but not as big as it was. But the oil industry from here used to be a big draw for people, and obviously a big financial bonus for the city. But it's always been a good city. We've been Stuart and other guys from Scotland used to come up and play an outdoor pro-am event up here, Piers event in the summer, and it's always a great place to come up and socialise. And people are always quite hospitable up here.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's been, all the club members have been really nice and helped me out. And I remember when I first arrived, the first day, believe it or not, I did get lost from the hotel to here. So, because there's a fence around the car park.
I was going to say, I was going to give you a bit of credit, Oliver, and say, I take it you're at a different hotel to me, but no, you are at the one at the back.
Sadly not. So sadly, yeah. And one of the club members came up and gave me a lift, so that was not too bad. So, but that was really nice anyway.
Yeah, no, it is a good part of the country. To be fair, most venues in Scotland would open their doors and welcome people from all over the world. It's the bowlers in Scotland, they like watching good play and good players, and as I say, to have the opportunity to see different countries they're probably not used to seeing on their doorstep is something I think we would all embrace. So I'm glad that Aberdeen have fulfilled most people's expectations, and as I say, we've still got some cracking games to go today. Another 3 sessions today yet, and then the climax tomorrow of 4 more games of bowls. So I think there's a feast of bowls to watch yet, either on the streaming if you can't be here. If you are in the Aberdeen area, I would suggest to get yourself along to the club and take in some of these games that are coming up for the rest of today and tomorrow.
Yeah, and there's a cafe here, and there's a restaurant, and there's a bar as well. Maybe it's a bit too early for that, but yeah, there's a few places you can go to as well whilst you're watching the bowls. So.
Just going to go under, I think. Might get enough of it. Oof.
Straighten up.
Did get a wee straight there, didn't it? Stuart's just indicating that with his hand. Looked like it was just feeding under the jack and it somehow got a lift. Turned it for 2 great shots anyway. Big difference.
Stay there. You can stay there if you want, yeah?
Oh yeah, same hand.
My ball now how short?
Couple of feet.
4 feet.
Either side of it, drop inside. Your weight. Come on.
It's just a bit heavy, I think. But if it's still in, it's good for the back. Oh, no.
Just going to lose it, yeah.
No pressure on for Cyprus then for the skip, yeah. I'll tell you one thing that has been, whilst we're waiting for the shot, so when you're walking around, a lot of people have been to the Falkland Islands, whether it was, some people have approached me and gone, oh, I was in the Falklands in 1994 or whenever. It's quite a, I know we're a small part of the world, but quite a few people have been
there.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is Scottish heritage in the Falklands as well, so that's always a good bonus as well.
Stuart's just finding his form at the right time. I just wonder if we should see a bit of running here, really. Try and get some of these balls out. Need Lucas to give himself a chance to score this end. They've probably got to win the end. Looking to attack this. Take some balls out. Put in the right shot. Just don't know if he's going to get down, though.
Oh. Hit. Okay.
Well, still 2,
Still
I think, at least. Good thing is he's locked the red ball in there now. It's hard to take the red one out, the red stickered one out, without taking some of the others, so it's kind of locked in there now.
This bill's a bill in front.
Same bill? Same?
Yeah, same. Lift me over or get inside it.
Looking okay, Oh, that's a good wall in front of the jack now. Yeah, you'll have to attack it.
Well, he's not going to be able to draw it. There's just no way in, so I think he's got to try and run again. I know I know they've only got one in the head, but it's quite well secure in there. He's got to run through this. I don't know why. I think I would be running it off the other side, to be fair, but
You've got to get it open for your final wood, haven't you?
has to hit the head. Yeah, see what he gets, and he's got one left to rescue the situation.
Oh, just under, I think.
Yeah, once that hand goes, it goes big. For me, he needs to get his own, the purple sort of coloured bowl with the red sticker. He needs to get that quite solid. It should take most of the blue stickered bowls out, and it won't go out the head. So I just feel it's more a forehand runner than a backhand runner. I don't think there's any guarantee he gets a shot on the other side.
We've still got one more wood to go, so we'll see what Stuart has to play now. Maybe just behind the jack.
I think Stuart has to come past, anywhere between the jack and the sort of back of the rink's a good place. Claire's just kind of indicating where she wants it, sort of 2 or 3 feet past the head. Then they've just about got all bases covered.
Looking okay if it goes around it. Ooh, okay, that still works.
Well, that has worked out as a Brucey bonus, really. Just trying to cover the back more than that type of shot, I think. That was plan B, C or D, I think. It's not made it easy though for Lucas now. More likely the jack will go off the rink, and the respot isn't in his favour. He would still be one down.
There you go, just do it. That's what.
Yeah, why not have
See what happens.
why not shut your eyes and shut one down there as hard as you can, see what happens.
Sometimes you need the line, the look, and the length.
I think he needs all three here.
No,
Yeah.
undercut it.
It's going to be another 3, I think.
That's right.
It opens up quite a convincing 8-2 lead now after 4 ends of this set. Just take you across the green as the games
blue.
are moving
Set
on.
score
So
2-8
on rink
after
5
4
as it is
ends.
here in the stadium. That's the England-Australia game, so just to remind you, England won the first set. They're trailing 5-2 after 5 ends of the second set to Australia in this one. Doesn't look like England may be lying 3 or 4 shots though at the time, or one won't come. As for the next game along, Israel-Scotland, well, they lost the first set and they're 0-6 down
Jack
after
length,
3 ends to
31.5
Guernsey.
metres.
Guernsey are in a good position to go through at this stage. Then we've got the last game. Interesting score in that last game. Oh, they've just put an extra one up. It was shown as 6 ends and 4-1, so I thought, how could that be unless they've had a no-shot? But they've just put the extra one up. So that game is 4-2 to Wales after 6 ends. So Wales leading 4-2, having taken the first set in the game.
Yeah, some really great teams there. Well, all of them are great teams, but yeah, some standout Guernsey definitely with Ian and Ali Merrion. They're, they did well last year as well. So that as well. You got England as well. They're really experienced, and Scotland. You got all of them are.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict who's going to win. So.
Yeah, it's very difficult at this stage in any of the events to really, single MD out in particular. It should start to develop now. We're into the quarterfinals, then the semis, then the final. So, yeah, indeed, England did pick up a 3. So, for folk interested in that England-Australia game, which England did win the first set, and it's now 5-all playing the last end of the second set. So that one's a bit of a nail-biter over there.
A good start there from Claire.
Yeah. It's more like her.
Okay, so might be going further back then, is it?
Yeah, our balls just aren't quite swinging back as much as Claire's, the Great Stride model, which is where it's just not quite getting back to centre on the wider line.
Go the first one.
Oh, what a ball.
Geez, good stuff.
Just great to see this kind of, on the jacks pretty much for 2 woods.
Yeah, your skips. I think Claire's laughing because I think she was probably asked to play a wee bit of cover ball there, and she's drawn right on the top of the jack. So not a bad miss when you draw a front toucher.
No.
Not made the target any bigger. Now got a toucher sitting right on the jack, so if it's hit at all, the toucher's going to go over the jack. Doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, giving Stuart all the easy shots to play. I think he'll just be running for cover somewhere deep down the back of the rink.
There you go, another one in there. So
that might just deflect the jack.
I gave us a smile there. That's quite nice of you.
Yeah, I think he's just still having a laugh with Claire about the fact that he'd asked for a cover ball and she drew a front toucher. He's got a cheek to be doing that, because the amount of times I play with him in pairs and want a back ball and he just wants to be knocking them around the jack, so getting a taste of his own medicine.
So do you prefer mixed pairs or do you prefer singles then?
I don't mind though. I quite like team events. I've had a long career at playing singles, so I quite like playing more team events now, and just find it a bit more rewarding. I still enjoy singles. I quite like the fact that it's you against somebody else. You're head to head. But yeah, I've probably played singles a lot in my career, so it's nice now to sort of play a wee bit more team events.
Yeah.
This is a courageous shot from Lucas. His line's really good. Has he got the pace?
Come on!
Oh, it's a some effort.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a really good ball. He's only a foot short and he's still 3 down.
5 feet! 5 feet!
Surprised Stuart was short his first one. Can't be short this time. He has to be through the back somewhere.
There you go. It's looking like it's got a bit of extra pace to it. Maybe too much.
Yeah, he had to make sure he was past the head because I've nothing past. So
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that Lucas isn't trying to just spring this jack because they're 8-2 down.
You have to get a big count.
Even if he gets a 1, I know theoretically it keeps the set going, but personally I think there's an opportunity to spring the jack there for 2 or 3. It'd be just as well taking a gamble at it, I think.
They need to get something this end, don't they?
He's had 2 decent efforts, but he's just not quite reaching, and he's not actually saving any. So maybe he would have had 2 opportunities to play that forehand now to at least try and find the line and pop the jack.
You know the problem point is there.
That's what he'll have to do in his final shot then, depending on what
Almost on to the tee.
Stuart plays now. Okay.
Yours is that much yours.
If you was in the seat, you'd try and do a fire shot.
Oh, I think I would have been trying to spring that jack, because at least you had 3 chances to do it. His first one's actually made it a wee bit more difficult because he's covered half of the plant, but he's played a decent end, but he's just not quite pushed them far enough. Just that 2 feet short. His line was good every time, but he's going to drop 3 shots again. Mm. 3 or 4, I'm not sure. It's 4. Mammoth task now. It's probably just finished this set for sure. Yeah, it's one of these percentage shots, I guess. You know, in
12.
in the UK, we would
Two
play that as a
12
percentage
after
shot. You're 8-2 down on the scoreboard. You can draw for 1. It's not an easy draw. You only had about an inch to draw the shot. You only had about 6 inches to save 3. You know, would you not maybe try and spring that jack? You know, when you had 3 or 4 balls sitting in a good position, you know, wasn't an easy shot either, but you lost 3 trying to get 1, where you could have made 3.
Yeah, so you needed that count there. I mean, it's still mathematically possible, but as you say, it's a mammoth task to get 6 in both ends.
Jack length, 30.5 metres.
I think there's a result over there, is there?
Yep, there is a result over there. It looks like Wales have got over the line 2-0. They beat Ireland in the second set 4-3. That game was 4-2 going at the last end, so they dropped to 1, but that's Wales through, first team through to the semi-final of the mixed pairs. So Lauren Gowan and Ross Owen, good partnership that one.
I saw Lauren in the previous live stream against the English lady, Emily, and that was an incredible game.
It was a really good game, yeah. It was a good game to commentate on. It was a good one to open the streaming with. Went right down to the last ball. Problems for the Australian pair over in that rink against England. One down, at least one down. It's a back toucher. Jack from Australia's only got 2 balls left to try and turn that round. Claire's just stepped up a gear the last couple of rounds. Had to just get her balls in closer.
I was wondering if you could see a picture of me on the back screen. Some great pictures in action.
Yeah, Trevor, our photographer, he does a great job. This end will be played out, barring Cyprus picking up 5 shots, which is unlikely. And this will be the final end of the game. Claire just piling balls in now.
Just a couple of feet this time.
So if you were the skip, then would you tell your lead to start placing them in one position? For example, on the tee, and then try and go for that final.
Yeah, I think you've got to try and build an area somewhere where you can sort of score your shots, but it's difficult because obviously, you know, if you build an area, Stuart's just going to cover it, and the problem is if you come up short like this one, then you're just about killing any chance you've got of making your multiple count, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's still mathematically possible, so I've seen worse.
Not much, but yeah.
No, not much. No, not much at all.
Yeah, so just looking at the games across the green there, just looks like Jack, the Aussie skip's got 1 ball left to somehow try and save game. He's now at least 2 down, a front toucher and a back toucher, so I guess it's going to be I think, not sure who's got the respot through the back, somebody's covered it deep. Looks like it might be a hit and hope.
Follows just behind. Oh, well done.
Just turning it up a notch now, aren't they?
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, it's a missed drive for Australia there, so England have stepped into the semi-final, joining Wales. It's Emily Kernick and Dominic McVitie of England just got over the line in a great game with Australia there, so it's 2 of our mixed pair semi-finalists now. Just a reminder, that'll be coming on in tonight's matches, so it's going to be around about 6:30, I believe. That match will commence tonight, so keep an eye on all our media platforms just in case there are some slight time changes, but we'll keep you updated as best we can on that. That's definitely our semi-final slots tonight. It's looking like Scotland's obviously going to join them. And just that final match over there where at the moment Guernsey are 6-3 up, having won the first set against the Israel-Scotland combo.
Come on then.
Run through it, I think.
It's not a bad effort from him, to be fair. It's a difficult shot he's faced with.
Yeah.
Just trying to come around his front one with enough pace to get back, so yeah, not easy. Sort of just playing the game out now, I think, and that's all you can do at this stage, I guess. 12-2 down.
Of course, I mean, you know, Cyprus sharing the stage with some of the world's best, you know, bowlers. So,
and to be fair, they've done a good job of it. Oliver, to be fair, for the first set there was nothing in it, and then it's just the last 3 or 4 ends. Scotland have shown their class, and
what can you do with that? That's incredible.
Away. I think I would just send one down with a bit of venom, you know, and have a bit of fun with your last bowl.
Yeah, it's been a great tournament for them, I'm sure.
Sticking with the draw. Let's see, Oliver, can you pull one out the bag at the last throw of the dice?
Oh, it's looking it.
It's a good effort. He's just overplayed. Some effort.
Oh, good effort.
And there we have it.
Okay.
So, you know, Scotland have booked their place into the semi-final of this mixed pair. So it's just to remind you that's Scotland,
4
England
blue.
and Wales all through to the
Scotland
semi-final.
win the
of mixed
second
pairs.
set
At the
and
moment,
the
it looks
game.
like Guernsey will join them, although they still have 3 ends to go in their game. So, Oliver, thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed commentary there in the match, and Scotland in the end just showed their class to take themselves through to the semi-final.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for having me, and yeah, all the best for the rest of the tournament.
Great stuff. Okay, so just a reminder, folks, around about 1:30 or thereabouts, as I say, please keep an eye on social media to be alerted to any time changes, but around about 1:30 we should be back on stream, and that should be first of our ladies semi-finals the ladies singles, which will be coming up quarter-final stage at 1:30. That'll be followed by the gents singles quarter-finals around about 4 o'clock. And at 6:30 this evening we will have the first of our semi-finals, and that will be in the mixed pairs where Scotland, Wales and England are safely through, and Guernsey are at the moment favourites to join them. So thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll catch you at 1:30. Thank you.